on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see them as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked?
I do think that works, Andrea Catania. And shall we get to introducing some of these fine folks we have here today?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, first up from Bridgeport, Connecticut, strategic legal advocate with deep expertise in landlord-tenant law, business formation, and estate planning, guiding individuals and small businesses to navigate complex legal needs with confidence and compassion. A professional genealogist for over 25 years, passionate about family history, helping clients connect past, present, and future with purpose. Let's welcome to the show, Kent Miller. Now, Kent, as we shared in the green room, this is where you get to share a fun fact. It is a headline fun fact, not a story fun fact, because it's Monday and we all don't want to go to Snooze City. So, Kent, since you are kicking us off in our role model, what is your headline fun fact? Something that make us go, Kent, no way.
Yeah, my fun fact is I recently found out, unknown to any family member, that we are Mayflower descendants.
Wow. And did you find that out through one of those genealogy tests and trees, and how far back does it go?
Well, it goes back to 1620 when the Pilgrims landed, and it was all hard work that was started in the 90s before the internet even existed.
Wow.
And it all led to right before the pandemic, making this discovery, and then waiting through the pandemic for 3 years to get the documents to support it.
Wow, that is incredible. Kent, coming from the Mayflower descendant, that is powerful. And Kent, are you ready to have some fun today?
I am.
All right, let's do it. Rolling with Kent on this Impactful Leaders Business Law and Finance Heart of Influence, coming from New York, New York. Visionary leader uniting profit and purpose through strategic partnership with Hearst, Citigroup, Virgin, and global nonprofits. Helped launch Wall Street Journal as a design director in 1996. Earning a Silver Innovation Award for pioneering work, digital journalism, and product development. Founded a mission to empower retiring military women and actively combat activism through daily advocacy, #InJewHatred. Let's welcome to the show, Jennifer Edison. Jennifer, impressive background. You've done a lot in your time here. And Jennifer, what is your fun fact?
So it's a real shitty New York City story. I was very much a biker in New York City. And one time I went biking and I'm moving around a horse and buggy so that I could pass them. And a French tourist came right facing towards me, and we both went over our handlebars, and I landed in horse manure, and she landed in the hospital.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what's crappier, the horse manure or the hospital. But I definitely, I'd say you probably got the better end of the deal, because at least you probably got to shower and go home that night.
And she
but
broke
Jennifer,
her arm.
And she broke her arm. That is definitely not a fun fact, but I have to say, in over 1,500 episodes that I have co-hosted with more than 8,000 guests, I have to say nobody else has ended up in a shitty situation. Jennifer, you are the first. Welcome to the Heart of Influence. Andrea, let's remember this the next time Sean decides to take all of the Unblinded team and ecosystem to New York City to watch out for the horse manure. So let's not end up in any of that like Jennifer. But Jennifer, are you ready to have some fun?
Very much so.
All right, let's do it. Rolling with Jennifer from New York, who is not in a crappy situation right now. Bi-coastal between LA and New York, creative force known for emotional resonance, authenticity, and authentic films that connect deeply with audiences, and has worked with major studios, including Disney, Blumhouse, blending creative vision with hands-on production expertise, champion of impact-driven cinema, bringing courage, integrity, heart to every frame, director, writer, producer, founder of her own production company. I see the next Lucille Ball on the horizon. Let's welcome to the show, Amanda Raymond. Amanda, are you a Lucille Ball protege?
She was an amazing woman, for sure. I also do act as well, but not as much as the other things.
Not as much as the other thing. And she was the first woman to own a production company that then later sold it to Paramount. She's an incredibly brilliant businesswoman. And so Amanda, welcome to the Heart of Influence. Amanda, what is your fun fact?
My fun fact is I once had to fire a skunk. So I was shooting a movie called Stinky Summer, and we were going to have a skunk puppet and a live action, a real skunk in the movie. And the trainer was being really, really difficult. And I eventually had to go to the producers and say, what if we just fired the skunk? They said, what? I said, what if we get like a little dog we put in a costume? And that's what we ended up doing. So it saved us a lot of money. It was a much easier thing. We knew what was going to happen. And so I can say now that I had to actually fire like a real live skunk at one point.
Oh my goodness. Amanda, that is a super fun fact. Andrea, I think we're lucky that we have not had to fire any skunks or had any skunks working in our office. We got some office dogs, but we do not have any skunks. But Amanda, if we ever need any of our skunks fired, you are definitely a person that we are going to call. That is we've got some interesting like horse, like skunk. There are some interesting fun facts on today's show, Andrea. And Amanda, are you ready to have some fun?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do it. So we are not in a stinky or poopy situation anymore. Coming from Mahwah, New Jersey, years as a district attorney, partner, and now solo trial attorney, a global perspective and grounded wisdom for every civil dispute he takes on, representing police officers, veterans, and everyday clients, a deep commitment to justice and human connection, focus on legacy and impact, seeks purposeful work that aligns with his value and real service to those who need it most. Let's welcome to the show, David Zorling. So, David, are you going to be able to top the horse and the skunk?
I'm not sure about
What
that.
fun fact do you have for us today?
Yeah, I would say that in my let's say earlier life, I come from a long line of merchant marine, merchant seaman, and I sailed as a teenager in early my 20s as a merchant marine, sailed around the world, and currently hold a captain's license. So, in addition to being an attorney.
In addition to being an attorney, a captain, from a long line of descendants of those who sail around the world. And then did I get that they were in the Marine Corps? You were in the Marine Corps? Your family was in the Marine Corps?
Merchant marine, which is mostly container ships, oil tankers, things of that nature.
Oh, what was like anything that you know of that you brought back really cool from like on the ships or anything?
You mean other than diseases? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, there was a slang term aboard ships known as sweeps, and sweeps were sort of a slang for contraband. So in other words, if you're carrying coffee and one of the sacks of coffee happened to break, and if you swept it up, you get to keep it. So anything that you could kind of get from the containers and put it aside would be considered sweeps.
David is sweeping some coffee. That's what I'm hearing. Wink, wink. David, that is awesome. And are you ready to have some fun?
I am.
All right, let's do it. Welcome, David, to the Heart of Influence. Rollin' with David, coming from Miami, Florida, 20 plus years as a healthcare finance strategist, eliminating efficiencies, leading high impact growth initiatives, one physician group taken from 18 million to 98 million. Master of finance clarity and operational excellence, has uncovered fraud, stopped revenue leakage, and built scalable frameworks. Now preparing to launch a boutique CFO consultancy aiming to serve between 1 and 10 physician groups. Let's welcome to the show, Joseph Alamein. Joseph, also very impressive background. Welcome to the Heart of Influence. And Joseph, what is your wow fun fact?
Not sure I can top the ones that were mentioned earlier. I have quite a number of things, but I guess the main thing is that what people don't expect, the fun fact about me is that I'm an all-around handyman person. I can take on just about any projects, whether it's on automotive or on a residential property.
Handyman on the side. So when you're not helping physicians and helping them take them from 18 million to 98 million, you're hammering in a few nails in between. Is that what I'm hearing?
Pretty much. I love to work with my hands.
Love to work with your hands. Well, awesome, Joseph. Sounds like you do great work all the way around. And are you ready to have some fun?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Let's do it. Coming from Kings Park, New York, a seasoned tax strategist with 8 years, known as the doctor for your pockets, passionately optimizing strategies, helping clients retain more of their hard-earned money for businesses ranging from 1 million to 25 million, whether for small business, a few partners, or large-scale funds with over 500 investors, has a comprehensive understanding of tax law, ensuring clients thrive with peace of mind all the way through. Let's welcome to the show, Aman Amani.
Thank you for that introduction, Bella. And fun fact is that, how that moniker came about, Doctor for Your Pockets. It may sound a little cheesy, to some people, but it kind of came about through an individual who's actually a physician, Joseph, as well. And he was on the brink of financial collapse during the pandemic, during the early parts, and, helped them get the appropriate PPP funds and COVID relief, EIDL loans and all that fun stuff. And he was like, dude, you just resuscitated my business right now. You just gave me CPR. You're my doctor for my pockets. And that's how that came about. So it was interesting. I was like, but you're the doctor. And he's like, no, but you're my
But you're-
doctor. And
but you're my-
I'm like, okay, all right, that's a good one. Now I'm gonna use that. So it's been Doctor for Your Pockets ever since, So
Doctor for your pockets. I like it. Always let the clients tell you. That is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Aman. And are you ready to have some fun? Maybe, be a little doctor for the pockets on the show.
Absolutely. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's bring out
Next,
the tools. Yeah.
there you got the tools. You and Joseph can get out your perspective tools and do a little doctoring. But let's have some fun. Next up from Fargo, North Dakota, co-founder, a fractional CFO and CEO firm to help businesses grow smarter. Rapidly scaled the company within months through vision, service, and heart. Operational strategist with a marketing edge, crafting executive level strategies known for grounding leadership and commitment to excellence. Let's welcome to the show, Jerry Standiford.
Thank you. All right, the one headline. Okay, I'm gonna go
And
back.
can
to
you
the
do it, Jerry?
Oh,
You're-
Yep, I can do it. So,
All right, let's see what you got.
So I was sprayed by a skunk the morning of my junior prom.
Oh.
Yep. So
Maybe it was the skunk that Amanda fired, and he was just mad, so he sprayed you.
It might have been. I grew up in rural Wyoming, and we had a chicken coop with chickens, and skunks like chicken coops. And I opened the door, and he was there, and I was there, and it is not like what you see in the cartoons where it's like a cloud. It's liquid. It's just awful. So anyway,
Oh my!
tomato
So-
juice bath, and we are good to go.
I was gonna say, is this like a smell that like stays on day? Did you have to go to your prom smelling
Oh.
like a skunk, or were you able to get it off?
Probably a little, but not as bad as the first time as when I got sprayed. So
Oh my goodness, that sounds like a really stinky situation for your prom. But hopefully, how was the prom? Did you make it to the prom, and did you have a good time?
yeah, I did. I think it was a good time, and outside of the smelling a little like skunk, for a while, it was awesome. So
No skunk is taking you out of the fun. That's what I'm hearing, Jerry.
That's right.
Well, great job. And are you ready to have a little less stinky fun on the Heart of Influence?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I promise you will not get sprayed with skunks today.
That's good.
Let's do it. From next up, the woman who brought us all here together from Nutley, New Jersey, the deal attorney, having led over 200 capital market transactions in the past 25 years, taking companies public in the 7 different ways to do so. 2 years out of law school, built $1 million solo practice from her basement as a single mom with 2 young daughters. Proudly serving for over a decade on the board of National Investment Banking Association, helping companies get connected to thousands of members and funding sources, executive producer of the Heart of Influence, general counsel, and chief ecosystem officer at Callagy Law. Let's welcome the one, the only, Andrea Catania. Hello, Andrea. Welcome to your show. Thank you for putting all of these extraordinary folks here together today. And of your abundance of fun facts, which one are you going to share with us today?
I forgot about this stinky fun fact. We had a lot of deer in Randolph, and I was once sprayed with deer repellent that, by the way, is made of fox urine and vinegar when I was leaving for an IPO working group meeting for which I was late because I had to go shower.
That is a super fun fact. And Andrea, I think I'm going to have to throw in the one too, where the time that you decided that might it be a good idea to eat turtle food at the Turtle Aquarium. So we're all in a Grand Cayman with all of our. We heard you, Sean, and then you muted. But yes, Sean took the entire, some members from the ecosystem, Unblinded Ecosystem, and we were handing out turtle food. And Andrea thought it'd be a good idea to eat the turtle food instead of feed the turtles with the turtle food.
Bella
Hello,
Rita, do you
Sean.
have
Welcome
me?
to the Heart of Influence. Yes.
Hello, guys. So thank you. So in a Mr. Smith Goes to Washington-ness, we are moving from senator to senator all day here. And thank you for you being here. I got here as efficiently as I possibly could. And Bellavita, am I up to the point of introducing you? Is that where we are?
That is where we are.
So the woman who's been doing the introducing, this woman started her career in influence selling crafts on her parents' front lawn as an 8-year-old. She progressed to being a 7-figure earner in the space of network marketing by the age of 19. Who does that? At 24, she's three-peating like Jordan, except not in basketball, but instead as Nevada's #1 business broker. In this male-dominated industry, this woman was #1 at 24 years old, and then again at 25 and 26. And she was the first woman ever to be Nevada's #1 business broker and the youngest person, male or female, take that, dudes, ever, let alone 3 straight times. She then begins to train Fortune 500 companies and entrepreneurs. In fact, in 2019, every sales team she worked with doubled their sales. Skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer in the most extreme of conditions. Maybe she learned it from a blind man. Maybe she learned it from YouTube. I'm thinking blind man today because I made it onto the show, but we'll see. Also a philanthropist that has raised $10 million plus with the Unblinded team, who in 2023 publicly battled and defeated cancer. Let's welcome to Andrea Catania's Heart of Influence, the woman that put the heart in it in her more than 1,600th episode. Let's welcome to the stage the Heart of Influence, Bella Verita! Bella, I have protesters about to attempt to kidnap me. There's all kinds of craziness in the streets of Washington, D.C. So before you get kidnapped, Bella Verita, what's your fun fact?
Yes, before you get kidnapped, since we kind of got like an animal theme going here, I'm going to go with the fun fact that I was scuba diving with Sean in Grand Cayman once, and I was actually meeting him and his son and his children there. And the day before, he and his son were out scuba diving, and his son got a little bit by a shark. The shark actually bit his son's fin. And then the next day when I landed, he decided to take me out to that same spot, I'm pretty sure trying to feed me to the shark, in which the shark bit his fin son again. So that is my fun fact that I'm going with today. Sean, since you're hanging out with sharks, I went with a shark fun fact.
Yes, this is the truth. I love that fun fact. So grateful for all of you being here today on the Heart of Influence. I will be on camera momentarily because Bella Verita, I'm standing out in the street and we can't find John Kelly or Alfred or Batman. This is crazy. But please, Bella, let us continue.
Let us continue. And you do so much better at me than all of these dynamics. So let me introduce my co-host, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Becky at body surfing competitions. He is only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. In fact, the state of New Jersey actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times. And when he's not busy flying around speaking on stages of Fortune 25 companies, Fortune 500 companies, the U.S. Senate, the government, he is an incredible philanthropist that raised nearly $10 million in 2 years for charity. Let's welcome my co-host, Mr. Sean Callagy.
Bella Verita, thank you for that wonderful, powerful, masterful introduction. And please get Bella Verita from that place. Yes, John, we can hear you. Thank you, John.
Yes, we can hear John Kelly.
Yes, we hear John Kelly. So they're all asking the blind man to find the car, which is fascinating. Yes. So my fun fact is that in 2 days in Washington, D.C., as we look to crack this $500 billion problem of independent physicians and out-of-network surgeons and healthcare providers getting paid, we have 8 meetings with the entire gamut of senators, people of finance and ways and means committees and all sorts of things, and we are 2 meetings down, and we are still rocking and rolling our way through it all. So from that place, Bill Rita, that is my fun fact for today. Oh yeah, and I'm a blind man that has taught sighted people to ski, surf, and to scuba dive. So those are my fun facts for today. Bella Verita, yes, that's what I got.
Those are super fun facts. But Sean, have you ever landed in horse manure or been sprayed by a skunk or had to fire a skunk? Because those were just a few of the fun facts from today.
Only when I'm with you. Yeah. So only when I'm with you. All right. So from that place, Bella Verita, thank you. And from that place, who is going first?
So I think we should kick this off with Kent, Sean. So what exactly are we doing here?
And who are we kicking it off with?
We are kicking it off with Kent, who happens to be a Mayflower
Beautiful.
descendant also, by the way.
Amazing. So what I would simply say is what we're doing here is kind of what we're doing in Washington. Everything happens after the word yes. Leadership, guys, leadership, management, marketing, selling, recruitment, fundraising, for profit, not for profit. All of it happens after one word, and that is the word yes. That's what we're looking here to do in all the most beautiful and powerful ways imaginable. So every single thing we're doing from here happens after that word. So for everyone, we are exploring what that superpower looks like and taking it from here. So please, Bella Verita, Mr. Kent, you are going to go from Ho to Yes with Bella Verita. And what you're doing from going from Ho to Yes with Bella Verita is you're going to be anybody you'd like her to be. She can be an ideal client, a philanthropic fundraising partner, anybody that you guys would like her to be, And what we'll be doing at the end of the day is seeing if you can go to hello to yes for Bella. So you have 3 minutes. And who would you like Bella Verita to be, please, Kent?
Just unmute for us, Kent.
I am looking for clients who own or manage units of 100 or more, buildings of 100 more residential units. So why don't you play a property manager?
All right, I can do that. I like to acquire property.
Okay, wow. One of the solutions we have is we help do-it-yourself landlords and property managers streamline the eviction process. So we're there to help you on the average of 3 to 5% defaulting tenants and to get them back on the track of paying. And if they can't demonstrate the ability to pay on a timely and agreed basis, then we would then take the case to court. And what I'd like to know from you is, what are the kinds of things you need as a property manager or a landlord for your property?
Well, thank you so much for asking. We've been, in the interview process trying to find a replacement for a couple of weeks now. And I would say, most important to us is obviously, we want to take care of our tenants, and we have a really good reputation and we want to maintain that reputation. We want to maintain, getting things fixed on time. We want to maintain taking care of our tenants, and anyone who comes in that is partnered with us we have that same expectation that the tenants come first and everything is done in a timely manner.
Okay, well, that's good to know, because it's important also to understand that one way to help your existing tenants, the one who comply with their leases and who pay their rents, is by making sure the other tenants comply. Because when 2 or 3 of your tenants don't pay, that causes all the other tenants to end up paying more, because somehow you have to adjust your bottom line. So we help you with the turnover process. Did you know that if you start the eviction process a week or 2 late, it can cost your company about a month additional rent just by delaying the process by a week or 2?
I did not know that.
So that's what our research has shown in my area. And what we like to do is we like to encourage landlords to establish a payment policy so that there's a clear expectation that tenants are allowed to say, hey, I'm having a problem this month, maybe get some leniency a couple of times. But if it becomes a habitual thing, then we have to go to the next step and unfortunately bring them to court. But we can help you with a payment policy to reach your goal of tenant service. And again, for the other 95% of the tenants who do pay on time, we can help with your goal of tenant service to them by keeping your costs down and turning over those units that are not performing financially. At the same time, if we need to bring a tenant to court, we always encourage them to find a mutual resolution that helps them pay back whatever they owe over a court supervised agreement and get back in good standing with your company.
Well, Kent, I definitely like to save money. Unfortunately, I got to run right now. I got a tenant with a sink leak, but I would love to have a longer conversation and see what we can do going going further.
Well, we would love to set something up. You can go ahead and have your admin call mine, and we'll schedule it.
Your people might call my people, Bella Rita. Kent, thank you.
Unfortunately, my assistant is caught up in Washington right now, but as soon as he gets back from meeting with the Senate and the dignitaries in DC, I will have him reach out to you.
Well, I'll send you.
Hi,
Sean. I'll send you an email to make sure we can keep that going.
Perfect.
Yes, thank you, Kent. And Bella, I will deliver your dry cleaning anywhere you like. And Bella Rita, who's following up Kent?
Following up Kent, we have Jennifer.
Jennifer, warm welcome to the Heart of Influence, Jennifer. And who would you like Bella Rita to be that you're going from hello to yes with?
Okay, I'd like you to be Greg Peters, who is the co-chief executive officer of Netflix.
Oh, you like being a CEO, Bella, of Netflix too. Take us in.
Netflix. I could think of a couple movies I'd like to put on Netflix.
There you go.
Hello.
Me too.
Hello, this is Bella.
No, it's actually Greg.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. Hello, this is Greg.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing well. I wanted to talk to you about a pipeline, like where you get your creative ideas and films, and what's the best way for people to reach you who want to be able to have you take a look at some of their films or movies for a series.
Yeah. I'm sure, we have a whole, team and process that this goes through. So we have, you can go through our law channels, you submit a proposal there. The team looks at, we have one team that reviews it. If the proposals make it past that, then we have a second creative team that looks at, the audience, the viewership, does it make sense? And once it's made past those couple of channels, then it gets presented to me and my executive team on if it's something that we should move forward with.
So one of the things that I do is I'm like all of your teams. So I furnish you with the whole marketing plan around the movie. And the whole creative plan. So I give a whole strategy around why this would work demographically and why it would work from a marketing standpoint and why it would work from a monetary standpoint. I'm sure you have like channels, friends and family, people like, is there, I know those pipelines that have to go through your once a year submissions, it's very slow, but I have so many ideas that I'd like to be able to send to you. Is there another way through friends and family that you could offer?
Well, somehow you got this meeting, which is quite impressive. So since you were able to get this meeting, how about you send me over a couple of ideas that you have? If I think they're creative enough, that they're some of the best things that I have ever seen, then I'm willing to give you a second meeting. How's that sound?
That's a yes. I love it. Thank you so much. I will be in touch in the next day or two.
Awesome.
Jennifer? Yeah, going from hello to yes, Bella Rita, Jennifer, and Kent. Wonderful work. Now, Bella, feedbackers, please.
Feedbackers, otherwise known as judges. Judges, this is the time in the show that we get to give back in the form of feedback. And so it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Kent or Jennifer, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve, and then what is that next step? is that next step you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer meeting with Kent or Jennifer? I don't think anybody's going to want a root canal today. So how about that next step could be a little mocha chocolate and a little croissante at Starbucks for that little bit longer of a meeting. But if that's not enough time, then how about a private room at the Capitol Grill, getting a seafood tower and the nice juicy steak? Unless you're a vegan, of course, maybe you're having salad and french fries, but you're not going to skip out on dessert because you want to have the longest meeting possible. But if that's still not enough time, then you would be willing to rent a private jet. Of course, I would pick up Andrea Catania because she did invite you here and fly anywhere in the world with Jennifer or Kent, who have the longest meeting possible to discuss all the changes in life that you can make. So let's kick it off with Jerry. And Jerry, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Kent, please?
Yeah, so Kent, I thought you did a really great job explaining the processes that you do and the people that you help and how you help them. Going to court is nothing anybody enjoys, and evictions are really, really tough things to deal with because you're dealing with the human side of things. And I would say, if I was to give you a little bit of feedback coaching, though, I would say be more specific about some of the things that you specifically do in those cases. Maybe some examples or a quick example like that where you really helped the property manager and the customer the renter come together, rather than just looking at it as a, hey, it's you're out. So that would be the only thing that I could find, but you did a great job. Thank you.
And so, Jerry, like a next step would be it would warrant like a follow-up cup of coffee, something longer like a meal, maybe something even longer, like a trip to DC and Congress. Like, what would the next step be?
So, given the size of the what he's looking for, I'm an in-person meeting guy. I think maybe attending an in-person meeting, either inviting Kent up or going down to see him to really get his idea and proposals of what we can do. But I think meeting in person is really critical in this matter.
All right, we got some in person with Jerry Bellavita. Who's up next?
We got some in person with Jerry. Next up, we've got Aman. Aman, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jennifer?
Absolutely. So I thought that Jennifer did a great job with starting out with the whole personable aspect. Hey, how you doing? Right, Greg? So started off with something along those lines really kind of breaks down the barriers a little bit, right? You kind of get to know the person and where their mood is at for that particular pitch right there, right? So I really like that whole concept of starting off with the personable approach. In an area that I would recommend some feedback on would be predominantly potentially not just going into your services more, but kind of relating it to an example that Netflix probably made a mistake in their own marketing process and relating to a solution that you had in mind for that one entity that they might have, for that one movie that they probably didn't market as well, and what you would do differently to kind of give Greg or Bella in this situation an example of how you could change their business essentially just with a couple tweaks, right?
Comprehensive. Yep. Awesome. Comprehensive feedback, Aman. Appreciating it for sure. Bellavita, Aman, he's thought about this a time or two. Please.
Aman has thought about this a time or two. Let's go, Amanda. Amanda, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Kent?
For Kent, actually, kind of in line of what Jerry had said, is kind of giving specific examples or saying, kind of like, okay, what are the areas that you need work on right now? What are the problems that you have? And saying, okay, I have this tenant, I have this issue, and kind of listing off, what the problems are and saying, okay, this is how I would solve this in this instance. That's how I would solve this in this instance. And kind of just, rather than, hey, this is what we do. We do all of these things. Yes, offer that. But then asking me, making it a little more personable. It's like, what are the biggest struggles with you on a daily basis? Or like, what are the top 5 things right now that are giving you headaches that you would like a solution for? And it's like, well, there's this, and I'm not really sure how to deal with that. And then just giving a little more specific, examples of how, oh, we've had a case like this in the past. This is how it was handled. This was the result. That makes sense.
Nice. Very nice. And follow-up step, Amanda, would be a cup of coffee, maybe a meal. I don't know, maybe a balloon ride around the world. Like, what would be the next step?
I'm always an in-person person as well. So I would always go for a coffee first. Definitely I try to avoid drinks on like a first business meeting type thing because you want to remember the entire conversation. But I would
So
say,
what I'm hearing is the person I was having lunch with today in DC at Old Ebbets, cracking out a Bloody Mary, that would not be the way to go. I totally agree with you. So Amanda got this. Yes, Bella, Bloody Marys were flowing with one of our business colleagues in DC. It was like fascinating. Bella, back to you.
Bloody Marys flowing. I bet that was definitely fascinating from someone who has like a drink a year. I bet that was definitely fascinating. But let's go, David. David, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Kent, please?
Yeah, so I thought Kent did a good job of explaining how he would add value, save money, and sort of educating as to how he would go about saving money. I thought maybe it would be a little more forceful to give some examples. I believe he, in that respect, I thought he did a very good job of explaining how he could save money and add value and giving statistical feedback. On the critique side, I would say, rather than say, I'll have my people meet your people, I would probably say, I'd like to come out and visit one of your properties, in person, and maybe I could give you some examples and show you around and instead of leaving it to other people.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, David. And, a cup of coffee, meal, I don't know, we go like great white shark diving. Like, what would the next step be?
Yeah, absolutely. Something in person, even if it's something simple as coming out to a property site and taking you to your favorite restaurant.
Cool. Well, thank you for that, David. Bella Verita.
Let's go, Joseph. Joseph, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jennifer, please?
Mic is open. Yes, okay. I had a slightly difficult time figuring out initially where she was going with the conversation. Otherwise, I did like the way she continued once she, I guess, put the facts down. So I think a little bit more context, I guess, with regard to specifically what she was looking for with that meeting with Greg.
Wonderful work. And the next step would be a little meal, maybe, I don't know, a private jet to a private island. What would the next step be?
The next step obviously would be to request an in-person meeting. I do think that probably a little bit more preparation would have been good, but definitely request an in-person meeting to meet with them and try to sell them more about your idea and what your plans are. Because she did do that towards the tail end of that conversation. It was just a slow start to understanding where she was going.
Joseph, loving it. Bella Verita, it doesn't always come with caffeine, those in-person meetings. I'm not a coffee drinker, but when our Bloody Mary drinking friend asked for a cup of coffee in the senator's office, they said, we don't have coffee. So that happens today too. So it's been an amazing day of so Bella Verita, does that bring us to you and giving me a hard time?
Hey, that's what it brings us to. So for everyone, this is the time in the show that I get to give my co-host a hard time and create a scenario that he has no idea about, that he's got to go from hello to yes on. I always make them up as the show has been going on, so he hasn't heard them before, you haven't heard them before, and then we'll take a little vote in the chat of 1, 2, or 3 what scenario you would like to see Sean do go from hello to yes. So scenario number 1 is we have a very disgruntled skunk on our hands. Amanda had to fire a skunk. This is a true story. And that skunk is disgruntled and wants to go meet with Congress on anti-discrimination policies against animals. So option number 1 is Sean would role play Mr. Skunk going from hello to yes with, let's go, the representative of the House to have a meeting on anti-discrimination laws against animals in film. So that is option number 1. Option number two is I did read that back in the day, Halle Berry was evicted from her apartment in New York. And so I thought option number two is Sean could role play Halle Berry going from hello to yes with the property manager on why they should give her a free year of rent and let her stay in her New York City apartment, not being evicted, and let her stay for a year for free. So that would be option number two. And then option number three, inspired by Jennifer. I like the idea of like shows on Netflix. And I think since Sean is in the Capitol Hill right now, that option number three is Sean could role play Jennifer going from hello to yes with Greg Peters on a show for Capital Influence and an influence off in the White House. So those are my three options that I have for you today. So if you can hold up a 1, 2, or 3. 1, would you like to see Sean play Mr. Skunk? 2, Halle Berry, or 3, the Capital Influence. So what role play would you like to see, Sean? We got, oh my goodness. Okay, so we got 3 2s. I think that wins. All right, we got 3 2s and 2 1. So Sean, you are going to role play Halle Berry, and let's make David. You are the property manager that Sean is gonna go from hello to yes to convince you to let her stay in her New York City apartment for a year without having to pay. Are you up for this, Sean?
Yes. So I'm going from hello to yes with David. We'll call him Mr. Jones. He's the property manager looking for free rent for a year for Halle Berry. Yes?
Well, Halle Berry's looking for the free rent. He wants Halle Berry to pay her rent, her back rent, because he's about to evict her. So she doesn't want to be evicted and she wants to stay for a year.
Got it. Okay. So hi, is Mr. Jones available?
Speaking.
Thanks, you, David.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Jones. This is Halle Berry. We had a 3-minute conversation scheduled for today. Is it still a good time for you?
It is a good time for me.
Yeah. So first of all, Mr. Jones, I'm super grateful. I know this has been a very frustrating situation for you and for the folks that you represent. I'm very grateful for the 3 minutes for today. Is it still, or may I ask you this, what's the reason that we're even having this conversation? I know there's court proceedings, things, why even?
Well, I'm a big Hollywood star and I have a reputation to uphold, and I've been told that I'm being evicted from my high-rise apartment.
No, you're Mr. Jones. I'm Holly. So you're telling me, yeah.
Do I have it backwards?
Yes, yeah, all good. So, so Mr. Jones, why would you be even giving me the privilege of this conversation? At this juncture, I'm not a Hollywood star. I'm somebody with an aspiring career. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, but why even present me with this opportunity?
I'm confused about the role. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we're right at the spot where you're Mr. Jones, you're the landlord, and you're evicting someone. Yeah, you are evicting someone.
Okay.
And I'm Halle Berry, a nobody from nowhere who happens to be named Halle Berry, who's asking you for an extension. We have this call scheduled, and now I'm asking you, Mr. Jones, why you are even taking this call with me, and I'm very grateful. Please.
Well, again, I understand that you're a big star, but you've been behind on your rent. You've been having these wild parties. I've got complaints from other residents, and I'm willing to listen. But I'm under pressure to seek this eviction unless you can convince me why I shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Jones, and it's very kind of you to say that I'm a big star. But at this point, nothing has come through at all for me yet, and I certainly would love to talk about these noise issues in a moment. But Mr. Jones, is there anything else that you'd like to share with me before I share a couple of things that may or may not resonate with you?
Well, I'd like if you could explain to me, why are you delinquent on the rent, and what can I expect, to tell my other tenants as to, what they can expect to, peace and enjoyment of their properties.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Jones. So, from that place, and thank you for the graciousness of you in accepting this call. But Mr. Jones, first, I'm sorry. And this is a very embarrassing situation for me and a very difficult situation for you, I'm clear. Second, I've never had a party in that space, Mr. Jones. In fact, I have security cameras in the apartment, and I'm 100% willing to turn over all footage for the last 12 months. What I do have is I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and their dad was recently arrested, and he had some meaningful drug problems. We've been separated for a year and a half now, and he was a wonderful man. He was a preacher when we met, and he became heavily, he had hid his drug addiction from me. I thought I married a wonderful person. And so I removed him from my life, but our children are suffering. And I attempt to have them have contact with their dad. We FaceTime. He creates all kinds of drama, trying to leverage them to get to me. And the kids have been screaming and crying. And I've tried to put on some Disney music so people in the on the floor wouldn't hear any of this. And I apologize for making it feel and seem like these things have been happening. Again, I have all this confirmed on video, but I can assure you it's not going to happen anymore because I've gotten a restraining order. And I'm not going to allow him near my life or the children again. He's complete and he's out. So that's number 2. Number 3, I have an opportunity at this point, Mr. Jones, to try out for 3 roles that are major Hollywood productions. And I can have you speak with my agent. This is not just calls and general casting. These are real roles. And one of these roles will be a 7-figure agreement. I'm looking to get bank financing right now. And again, I'm happy to put you in touch with my agent. I've sought in advance from him. It's under consideration. His agency just doesn't normally do this. So all I'm simply requesting from Mr. Jones is a 30-minute follow-up in-person meeting where I can show you the footage. You can meet my children. You could see if anybody on the floor has ever seen a human being coming and going from this space, because they haven't. And most importantly, I'd love to put you in contact with my agent. It's one of the most reputable agents in Hollywood. And for him to explain a little bit more about this, and then to see if we can determine if this works. And what he's willing to do, he's told me, is to give your this property some notoriety with a couple of his clients, shooting a few Instagram videos that both have 5 million plus followers, to create some value back to you. So in no way, shape, or form are we flat out not paying the rent. I've been trying to make this happen. I'm waiting tables. I'm taking care of my 2 children. Their father is a train wreck mess. I had the restraining order. There'll be no more noise problems. And all I'm requesting, Mr. Jones, is that 30-minute follow-up conversation. If we could please just pause these issues that are happening for a minute so you can evaluate whether or not there's something really valuable here if you'd work with me a little bit. So Mr. Jones, please, how would it resonate with you or not to have a 30-minute follow-up conversation with me so I can prove out some of what I'm telling you, please?
Well, listen, I do appreciate your candor, and I appreciate your sharing your personal life. I certainly don't want you to have to share video and intrude further on that. I'm a father. I have children myself, and I'm certainly willing to give you that benefit of the doubt and give you that 30 minutes before we take any further action. And I'm sorry for your personal troubles.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And listen, I always do take responsibility. So this isn't me as a victim. I thought I made correct choices. I probably should have gotten out of this relationship sooner. I didn't, but I do want to fix this. And I'm so grateful, Mr. Jones. So I will have to set this meeting up for XYZ day. And Mr. Jones, you have a blessed day. And I'm looking forward to our 30-minute meeting. And thank you.
You do the same, and I look forward to it as well.
Thank you. Out of roll. David, how'd I do as Halle Berry, having a conversation with you, sir. You did wonderful, by the way, in your role today as feedbacker and as the landlord. I loved your very direct approach. And how did I do as Halle Berry, having a very difficult conversation with a landlord?
I think, again, the sharing of the sort of the personal story and appealing to the human side of the person on the other end is showing that you're an open book and that you're not denying or covering up the complaints. It's definitely puts me back if I'm in that position on my heels. It appeals to my human nature, and to at least the idea of giving people a second chance or giving them an opportunity to show that there's another side to the story before taking an action to that would affect somebody's life, their children, their family. So I felt that was a very genuine and certainly just buying that half an hour, which is getting me back from an offensive position to a more of a sort of a defensive sympathetic position.
Well, David, really wonderful job. Thank you for that feedback. And just quickly overall, David, how was your time today on Andrea Catanio's Heart of Influence? How was your time today, David?
It was terrific. It was very, the word I'm looking for. And I was like eye-opening, but it was very, very interesting to see other people's approaches to, being put on the spot and having to, to role play and to be persuasive. So it was very, very helpful.
Cool. I'm hearing it was unblinding. So thank you for that, brother, on this Mastery Monday. Jennifer, jump in that participant seat. Wonderful work. Never an easy place to be. Masterful job. And Jennifer, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence?
I enjoyed it. Everyone has a different approach, and I think something that's common is sort of the human element that I learned today is appealing to, like in the exercise you just did with David, appealing to the human element, and that was, that got me. I also noticed your use of Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, like you kept drawing him back in by using his name. And that was just a tool, I guess, that I picked up from your interaction.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And Jennifer, what we say all the time is tools are as integrous as their intention. So a hammer can be completely in integrity if it is nailing a nail into something constructive to build. A hammer could be extremely non-integrous if it's nailing nails into things it shouldn't be nailed into, or if it's using the hammer to hurt somebody. So tools are as integrous as they're intended to be. But clearly, the utilization of somebody's name, if your intentions are good and pure, is super powerful, because it's something that psychologically is proven over the course of study for the last 75 years of psychology to powerfully bring forward the opening of listening and heart and 1,000 other things. But thank you for that and for doing a wonderful job here today, Jennifer. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's go with Jerry. Thank you for kicking us off in the feedbacker seat. Thank you for your time today on Mastery Monday and for the quality of your feedback. And please, Jerry, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence?
Well, I really enjoyed it. Outside of my computer dying on me there, I apologize. I'm in a coffee shop in between Minneapolis and Fargo. I had some business, so I had to stop for this. But I really, it further, helps, dignify the purpose of our, the business that we started and why we're doing it. To, it's about people. It's about helping people, and it's not always just about the sale. And there's simple things you can do, like saying their name or following that, scheduling that follow-up meeting, and letting people know that we're definitely people too, and it's money's just an outcome. So how can we help people's situation if that's something that they're struggling with? Then how can we help them achieve their goals, whether it's being able to stay in an apartment or grow their firm? It's really understanding the why of the situation. I really took that from this today.
Awesome. Jerry, thank you. And thank you for becoming a part of the more than 8,000 people, Jerry and everyone who've been on this show. Thank you, Jerry. Amanda, thank you for joining that 8,000 plus as well. Appreciate you in the feedbacker seat today, Amanda. And how was your time today in the Heart of Influence?
It was really great. I think what I took away from this most, other than meeting these lovely people, is just kind of really the benefit of role play. And, you often go in blindly to a meeting, and you're meeting with someone and you think you have the script prepared of what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. But then you come out think, I think that went really well. But then if you could pitch it to someone beforehand that you trust and kind of go through and ask the questions and have them ask you the questions and say, I wasn't really quite clear on this, or like, maybe you were getting a little too personal, or maybe you got a little too off track on this. Maybe kind of really focus in on what that is, because you may think what you're saying is crystal clear, but it may not be to the person that you're meeting with, or maybe it's you're getting too off track, or maybe you're changing the subject, or maybe the meeting's too long. So I think the benefit of role playing is to really kind of be really, really concise with what it is that you're asking for and what you're saying.
Amen. Could not said it have more optimally. Myself and being here in Washington today, all kidding aside, I mean, we're here on really serious issues. And these meetings, we have people that are our clients that have set up these meetings, and there is a massive disparity in the mastery of how to have these meetings function, which at lunch today, I was recreating, disrupting, and coaching on because it was very scripted and pitchy. And that's just never a way to have a meeting. Everything is about who that person is across from you. What do they want and need? How can there be an intersection of yes with integrity? And understanding the science behind that is what my life's work is all about, because at the end of yes is the exponential differences we all seek to create. So thank you, Amanda, for being a part of our research lab, meets some fun and magic, like a private room at the Capitol Grill and all the things. And Amanda, thank you for adding to the legacy of the Heart of Influence today.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, thank you. Belverita, please.
Next up, let's go Kent, who kicked us off in the participant seat, which is not always easy, but did a fantastic job. I don't know if my scenario at keeping unpaid tenants in buildings really aligns with your mission, but I did my best. Ken, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
I really enjoyed it. Actually, you gave me some things to think about because, you know, I have worked for public housing. And so, you know, the goal of public housing is to keep people housed. So we were very creative. And I always tell my landlords, this may seem weird, but if you're a tenant, you want me evicting you because I'm going to save the relationship. And so thank you for reminding me of that. That was something that I had kind of fell off my script after doing this for so many years.
Kent, beautiful job, sir. Thank you for that. And again, appreciate your adding value today. Ella.
Well, thank you so much for that, Kent. And speaking of hammers and nails and integrity, let's go Joseph. Joseph, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
I have to say it was quite interesting and eye-opening for me. I am usually not out in front. I would have had a difficult time being the participant. But I did get a lot out of this. I like the approach. The facts and the points that everybody has made have been great. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And Joseph, here's to being out front, brother, because it is coming from the front that allows us to cause the leadership of others and support them in coming from the front. So congratulations on your courage today. Thank you, Joseph. Bella.
And last but not least, the doctor for your pockets, Aman. How was your time with us today on the Heart of Influence?
It was truly amazing. Definitely eye-opening overall. It was really wonderful to kind of hear everybody's unique approach, you know, between the participant and the judge's side, and obviously Sean doing a great job as well. Really seeing that mastery set of his skills right there. And Sean, I agree with you. You know, within any of those difficult conversations, starting off with a sorry disarms the other individual completely, right? So a simple apology goes a long way in any, you know, tough business negotiations or business calls that you have to make or customer service issues. And I truly agreed with that. And it resonated with me because I had something along those lines a couple weeks ago that I had to deal with as well. And a simple sorry just completely mellowed out the conversation, the phone call. Because this guy, you know, he was being an email gangster, but, you know, it truly definitely resonated with me. And, you know, between Kent and Jennifer's approach on their calls as well, that was truly amazing and a different way of kind of pitching to their potential prospect. So that was really nice to see, and really looking forward to engaging with everybody after this as well, in all honesty.
Awesome, Aman. Congruently put with heart and impact. So wonderful work, sir. Bella Verita, because everybody's been here, I know we're at time. We have a couple gifts really quickly. We have our group influence textbook. What if there's nothing else like it in the world? Well, because there's not. So that's here for you. I wouldn't have written it just to write something else if it was unneeded. So that book is your textbook, questions at the end of every chapter to profoundly accelerate your group influence, because individual influence is one thing, Group influence is the force multiplier to the force multiplier, and orders of magnitude of differential is what begins from that place. Number one. Number two, we have a business acceleration session. Please do not relate to this space as, oh wow, it's cool. Like we can create a little bit better ability to create yes. When we have a little better ability to create yes, and we know which yeses to cause, that's what creates the exponential differences. Not only the ability to cause yes with intent, mastery of knowing which yeses to cause to create exponential growth and acceleration. That's what this is all about. I have so much more to say, but I'm gonna like buckle it up right now or pin it up because we're at time. And Bella, read your final, real quick, please.
Yes, just echo everything that, Sean said. I had a conversation with someone earlier and we were comparing, like, I'm blinded to all these other things out there and there just is no comparison. So why not have that conversation just to see where things could go? Can't hurt. You won't leave smelling like horse maneuver or a skunk. I promise you that. It'll be much better than that. So back to you, Sean.
Yeah. So, for example, final, as we close, I'll be speaking. I speak Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 19 times. I'll be speaking in a couple of weeks in front of the American Association of Neurosurgeons. By the way, they're the second highest paid group in America after professional athletes, above people who make movies, right? And the ability to create that yes is a group influence dynamic, an individual influence. And I was on the phone with Mike Eruzione of the Miracle on Ice and him potentially co-creating what we're doing there. And like that ability changes everything. To be in Washington talking to all these people, and I'm defective. I'm a blind guy. So if I could do this, what can you guys do? So in final, I believe that yes, I may be physically blind, which I am, but I'm absolutely certain as to the possibilities for acceleration that sit right in front of all of us. Those opportunities often sit right here for money or time or magic, and with all of those possibilities for acceleration right in front of us, at some level, they're right there, Bella. But we're all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
everybody. Great job. See you
Have a
soon.
great